United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get going, we have our public comments where we'll give anybody who wants to speak 3 minutes to come up and discuss anything that they want to. Anybody have any public comments they want to?
Hi, Lester Fusel with the Red Cross. I've seen you for a while. The only thing I want to report is that the Red Cross did provide assistance to residents of a single-family dwelling earlier this month in Roseman, so we were able to open 5 cases, as well provide financial assistance and support, and things that we're doing with the Red Cross in the community. We also have a on-demand sound the alarm event that we're going to be doing. We had a couple people in Roseman that had signed up and were not able to participate, but we're hoping to catch them on our next campaign and get some more smoke detectors installed. So, anybody have any questions of the Red Cross? Thank you very much.
Any other public comments? If not, if we could have the Kern County Sheriff, Senior Deputy Evans, right? That's perfect.
Well, this is my first time ever being here. I've got some numbers. I guess for our stats, our total calls for service for the month of October are 554. One of the ones that are probably of interest and the most uncommon, but getting more common, unfortunately, we had a homicide that's under an active investigation. We've got 17 peace disturbances, 26 audible alarms for different businesses. There's been several burglaries, trespassing, so 14, 47 check the welfares. We have 56 traffic stops.
1 second. Okay.
Where do you want me to start?
Okay.
47 check the welfares, 16 suspicious persons, and 56 traffic stops. So, does anybody have any questions for me?
Apparently, from what I understand, there's a new sheriff that's going to remain here in Roseman. Is that right?
A new sheriff, like a
Deputy. Deputy, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So we're right now we're undergoing. To answer the question, I haven't heard anything like that.
Oh.
We have certain levels of staffing that we maintain at all times. We do have vacancies that open and are filled, and what I think you might be referring to is a senior deputy position. That's a detective like me. If it's a regular deputy, I have not heard that.
Okay. I'll double check on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
So last year we voted on extra sales tax for insurance department, Roseman.
Yes.
Are we ever going to be seeing that?
Yeah, so that has been huge. And the biggest thing that we're seeing with that 1 cent sales tax increase has been like across the board for public safety. As far as, I'm sure you guys know, we can't just pick a spot and then all of a sudden a station get opened. What I always tell people, we're not like the fire department. We don't hang out in a station. Our cars are our office. So we're always mobile. And I can just tell you that on the side of the week that I work, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every other Saturday, there are more deputies in Roseman than in Mojave or Tehachapi every single day. And it's because of, to be honest, it's our call volume. The calls for service are higher here. And so we go to where the need is. So it does affect our response times to Boron and Tehachapi, but Mojave and Roseman are more centrally located. But to answer the question about our substation, it's got to go through the selection process, environmental impacts, and that's above my pay grade. I have no idea when or where that's going to be. But you know, when people say things like, oh, we don't have sheriffs here, just because we don't have a substation doesn't mean there is not a law enforcement presence.
I think they might be referring to the last time we had a comment from the sheriff's station that they were looking into renting a space on
Yeah.
Diamond.
And as soon as I hear those rumors too, and I take them with a grain of salt, because in my experience, just from the things that I have heard, when they realize we have people that go in and find a place, when they hear it's the sheriff's office, the rent triples. And that gets pushed on taxpayer. So we're like, we'll hold off until we can maybe build our own or
Well, I'll put the
find
bug in-
something that's suitable.
I'll put the bug in your ear that my superintendent did reach out saying that we need a space for you guys if you don't.
Okay, awesome.
I must say though that the amount of sheriffs that I've seen in the recent couple weeks has been very impressive. So we want to thank you for your service. I know it's been a rough area, so thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
This may not be really for you to answer, but like on 20th Street, there's a lot of dark space there, and there's accidents that happen there. On 20th Street, you know,
Whereabouts?
south of Rosemont Boulevard,
Okay.
between there and say,
Like right out here.
yeah, down there further. And what I was thinking was maybe a white line on this side over here, because a lot of people don't turn their bright lights off, and you're like trying to look over here, but you can't see anything because it's too dark. And a lot of people I've noticed that running over the dirt or getting in accidents over there. I'm thinking that might be a helpful thing if there's a big white line on the right hand side of the road that sparkles or glows.
I think that would be roads department. I don't know how we would make a call on doing stuff like that. Yeah.
Actually, I can take notes on that and
Okay.
refer it to the roads department,
Okay.
to East Kern Rep for District 2.
Okay.
I have two things. First,
Sure.
to answer this lady's question, the Roseman Community Service District
There you go.
takes care of streetlights. So
Okay.
petition them to put a street light in. And the
CSD.
second thing, what happened to the substation that we had at the Community Service District? It's another government agency.
Right. You know, just from the time I was there, it was open to the CSD employees, and legally, we shouldn't have people that haven't been through our backgrounds have access to our stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because sometimes we need to be in our own private secure location. Because anybody can go into their facility, which we are a part of, and just have access to things that are supposed to be legally confidential. That's why. It just didn't work out.
And even, two things, you brought up about street lighting.
Yeah.
The district collects the fees, Edison pays the bill. So if you have a street lighting issue with them not coming on or off, Edison handles the lighting. The district only handles the billing process to get the money to them. My other question, you brought up about the homicide. I know it's being investigated, but there's been a lot of rumors around, could have been gang related. And the reason I asked that question that way, we got a lot of young folks out here who are not gang banging. They try to look that way. I don't want them to become victims of it. And I know it happened over here off of 15. That's the one you're speaking of, sir. But, you know, yes, the graffiti come up after it. And the other part too, knowing these gangsters, they don't care who they victimize as long as they get a victim.
Right.
So if you can talk about that, please do. If you can't, because it's still being investigated, understood.
Just in general, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but yeah, there is stuff like that that's been going on in the high schools that for whatever reason we're seeing more of. I didn't typically consider the East Kern as much of a problem with gangs as whenever I left working in Bakersfield. But, you know, people come and go. And with that, like, I think young guys move in from out of the area and try to start up what they had where they used to live. And that's kind of the case. Or people get out of jail. And that like I said, that might play a part. I won't speak to the specifics of the one that's going on, but I would just say that if you have kids, young guy, you know, sons, nephews, brothers. If somebody comes up to you and confronts you, like, about if you're from a gang or in a gang, you should be like, man, I don't want no problems. I don't know what you're talking about. And it's, for some guys, it may be hard to not fall into that trap because they're looking at a confrontation. And it's going to be a lose-lose. So just avoid it at all costs and do your best to turn the other cheek. That's the advice I would be pushing on any young guy that was in my family or in my life that were walking these streets. Over here.
I have two questions. On Ion Rosemont, which is kind of like a community.
I've heard of it.
Chat.
Social media thing?
Yes, yes. There's been a lot of buzz about our new skate park there on Glendower, close to Glendower and Rosemont Elementary School, where just last week it went on lockdown because of shootings on the overpass. I'm not aware as to, I haven't heard any reports on anything about that, but my concern is, or my question is, as to whether or not, because there has been an increase in uptick in activity at the skate park, will there be more of a patrol from the sheriffs, or can we ask for more of a patrol of the sheriffs in that area and location to keep the kids, our kids that go to the skate park, and the kids at the elementary school and their parents safe? That was my first question.
The easy way to say is, yeah, we can. Anytime, what I would recommend is that anybody can do this, is to call our non-emergency line. It may be a kind of a pain to go through the prompts. It's 661-861-3110, and just wait till you get to a dispatcher and request a patrol check. I would say for times when you see a suspicious person or vehicle, and if you're a resident or you have, you know, a kid there, and you're keeping eyeballs on them, and you get a weird vibe from a group of kids or young men that, like, what are they doing? They don't have a bicycle, they don't have a skateboard, but they're huddled up together and they're acting aggressive or using profanity. Then you should call that into that number I gave you and say there's some suspicious activity. That goes on to this, and that will elicit a response. So we can then show up and be like, oh, that's who they're talking about. Hey guys, what's up? What are you guys doing? Oh, no, we're just chilling. We're just, oh, really? You know what I mean? And we have our way of talking to them at that point. So squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's it.
And my second question, and I did bring this up with Mr. McKay, in regards to Citizens Patrol here in Rosemont. Since a lot of the people that live here in the community are so concerned with the uptick in the suspicious activity, is that something that the Sheriff's Department assists and promotes for Rosemont to have a Citizens Patrol? And how would that work?
Yeah, we have, we call them CSU, I think it's Citizens, I don't know what the acronym is.
Citizens Service Unit.
Yeah, Citizens Service Unit. They're great, they help us out a ton. And we do have folks that do that. They go through a background process and stuff. It's always super helpful. They get trained on, you know, what to look for or recognize or whatever, but then they're also, they're kind of a support service for us in other aspects.
Where are the trainings at?
No idea.
Or how can we get a hold of?
I will reach out and get the information. I'll put it on RMAC. They used to come to our meetings, and I'll invite them to our next meeting in January. I'll reach out to their command staff at the CSU and get their contact, and I'll post it on RMAC.
Yeah, they're great.
I've been seeing more and more tagging going on. I know in the Craven's Home Park. On the outside facing 14, it's just inundated with tagging, but they came inside where we have a place where we park our boats or our SUVs and stuff. The whole wall got tagged really bad, and then they came back the next night and did more. They come between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. I have dogs that let us know things.
Hey, whenever you get that, or you know, your dogs alert you. I know sometimes it's tough to get out of bed when it's cold and you're cozy. Get up, and if you go through your blinds and you see, you know, some suspicious figures or something, call it in, because that's going to get the response. Yeah, we need, you know, the only way we're going to catch them in progress is if when people go out and get up in those weary hours when the dogs are barking and check on their windows, or check through their windows to see what's up.
Yeah.
Is there any way, because time and time again, you tell people just call and file the reports, and we know that, but a lot of the people don't know how to do that. Is there any way, like, we can get somebody to come out and, like, have a class and, like, dumb it down for people step by step? This is how you do it. This is how you file it.
Well, so the online, are you talking about like online reports?
Like, yeah, filing any kind of reports.
Well, so if you go online, it's self-explanatory, I guess. I've never done it, but if you have questions, request in-person contact. Whenever you call our dispatcher, be like, you know, just say, I would like to speak with a deputy face-to-face. And we're always out here, we'll come. You know, if somebody really wants, because I think in the beginning our office was a little apprehensive about rolling out online reporting, because people are like, well, I get it, I paid for your guys' service, I want to see somebody, but it's actually been more of a convenience, and we get overwhelmed with online reports. So now we're like, oh my gosh, I wish they would have just called, because it blows my mind. Sometimes people will call about a feud with a neighbor that we could have handled over the phone. It's non-criminal. But then they'll do an online report of an actual crime with evidence. I got surveillance, and we're like, because sometimes it takes up to 2 weeks for that to process before it hits a deputy's desk. And then when we're reading the online report, we're like, now we're way behind the curve. But man, this was a really good, like, we have all the evidence, because some of you guys are really good at putting stuff together, and you know all the things. You had it in a beautiful package, but it just, imagine, it took 2 weeks to get to us, our desk. And now we're having to go back, and now we can't get a hold of that person, or some of that evidence has gone stale. So you can always request in-person contact if there's any confusion on how to do something with us.
When you dial not the 911, you dial.
No, we have a non-emergency. It's 661-861-3110, and it's currentsheriff.org. Yeah, you can get it. It's all right there. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No worries.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? I'm Maria Pagano, commander of the Mojave CHP area. So today I'll give you some information on what we have going on, some of our stats. But to kind of piggyback on what Deputy Evans was talking about, if you see something, say something, right? I think everybody here cares about the community and wants to help out. We have a great relationship with the sheriffs too, and they help us out just as much as we try to help them. So we try to keep that working, and with your information, that helps all of us. So I'll cover some of our stats. Usually I talk about our fatal collisions. So far this year, we're at 17 for the area, which includes all of East Kern. That's Roseman, unincorporated, Tehachapi, Cal City, Boron, Ridgecrest, Inyo Kern, all the unincorporated area of East Kern. Last year at this time, we were at 21, so we're actually doing a little bit better. But we try to work to keep those numbers low. Since September, we've had 7. So quite a bit for that time frame from September to now. Out of those, 5 have been DUI related. So very unfortunate. In fact, talking about DUI, we just recently assisted the Kern County District Attorney's Office with a DUI warrant sweep. that other agencies participated on as well. We targeted Roseman, Cal City, and Mojave, and we made 9 DUI warrant arrests or citations. So if they had a warrant for a previous DUI that they failed to show up to court, they were contacted and issued another citation or arrested. So that just took place. We just received our grant fund for overtime for the year from the Office of Traffic Safety. So this will be an annual grant hours. We try to dedicate a lot of the DUI portion to Roseman. The numbers are higher here in the community. That's why you usually see the checkpoints. Have any of you guys driven through our checkpoints?
Oh, I haven't, but I've seen
You've seen it, yeah. So we
advertise where they are.
So we have to by law, and that's
yeah, you do, but social media, hey, there's a check.
Right. And it goes back to if the message gets out and they don't drink and drive, that's what we're really trying to go after. But we try to host that one here in Roseman. That's something we've been doing annually. But with that, I'll leave you with a positive note. We have our Chips for Kids event that's coming up, and that's where we collect toys from now up until the first couple weeks of December. We again collect them from all East Kern, and we actually, this will be our 3rd annual year that we're doing an event at the Mojave Air and Spaceport at their event center. We're on Saturday, December 14th. It's going to be a toy distribution event, we get a lot of people. Last year I think we were about 1,000. It's a nice event. The event center is decorated for Christmas. There's cookies, hot cocoa. It's a pretty nice event, and then the kids get a toy.
Can we help with you with that?
Yeah, you're in contact. Actually, do you have Officer Maurer's contact? Okay. Yes, I can get in touch with him. And absolutely. We have a lot of volunteers. You know, everybody from the community that wants to help out too, and the airport has been very gracious to not only allow us to have it there, but do a lot of the decorations themselves. So it's been a great event, and we're looking forward to this year's. I'll leave a flyer up here too, but a lot of that information is on our social media. If you guys follow us through Instagram or Facebook, we usually post all the updates, where we're collecting the toys and when the event's going to take place.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I do have one question, not just particular to Kern County.
Sure.
But it's CHP. Why aren't there more people patrolling the 14, especially along the construction area? It is crazy how
Sure.
people drive.
So yes, I was just talking to Joel about it. There's a lot of construction right here on the 14 by Avenue A. And as far as staffing, you know, it depends how many units. To give you an idea, Avenue A on the 14th, north of the Mojave area handles. South of is the Antelope Valley area that handles that area. Every area has different staffing. Our staffing currently is a little low. Give you an idea, like earlier today, we probably only had 3 units working for all of East Kern. So you're talking State Route 58, State Route 14, all the unincorporated. So depending on the calls for service and where they're at, you know, you might not see them. As far as the construction itself, we're dealing with 2 different Caltrans districts. That is the LA district, Caltrans District 7. Anything north of is the Bishop district, which is District 9. We're in contact with them. We're just looking at posting updates because there is a lot of construction right now and a lot of detours, and I think a lot of people are confused, including some of our employees. So as soon as we get that information, we're going to post it also on our social media. But as far, if you do have a problem area, although we do know, obviously that's a problem, you could always send traffic complaint information to, we have an email account that you guys are more than welcome to send any of that. It's not an emergency, of course. Any other questions?
Is your email account on that paper?
No, but I'm going to give it to you right now. We try to keep it simple, so it's CHP Mojave Tips, CHP tips@chp.ca.gov.
Mojave tips at
chp.ca.gov. And if you guys have pictures too when you're sending traffic complaints, like occasionally we'll get one, you know, a car that's been parked there for a week, registration's expired, that always helps us too. So they know what they're looking for, it makes it easier. Anybody else? I'll be around if you guys have any other questions too.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Carlos, you'll be with us for another couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Carlo Basile with Assemblyman Tom Lackey's office. Yeah, as we were talking about before, the Assemblyman was re-elected, and he will be sworn in on December 2nd in Sacramento for another 2-year term. So we know who to call. We're not changing those phone numbers. In the meantime, I could give you a legislative report, but there hasn't been a legislature in session. The 2 special sessions, one was really quickly finished up. It passed a couple of laws having to do with a way to force the oil companies to keep more fuel in reserve. I think it was 2 more days of reserve, which may or may not impact them severely. We don't really know yet. The other one is another special session was called by the governor, but I'm not sure how that works because it's like he called it 2 weeks ago, but it is going to start on December 3rd. So I don't know how special that is. But anyway, so that's it for the legislative report. The Assemblyman has actually been busy with several, mostly visiting the district. He's gone from 29 Palms up to Baker, over to not to Rosemont, over to Boron, over to Acton. He's moving around, and hopefully you'll be able to see him in the next month or so. That's about all I can say.
We appreciate you coming out for
all right. Yes.
I noticed something that was posted on Ion Rosamond in regards to Governor Newsom wanting to visit the counties and communities that voted Republican in the presidential election.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if this is actually truth or accurate, that he wants to come to like Kern County or Tulare County, where the Republican vote was president. Is that something that Mr. Lackey or something?
No, not really. That's not.
Should look into, and should our current governor elect to come to our community, as to whether or not we could have Mr. Lackey stand up on our behalf in regards to the governor?
I'll take it up with the office. I have not heard of that visitation stuff, but everything's possible. It's been a wild political year. Why not one more thing, right? Obviously, please give us a heads up if any of this stuff comes up. The phone number is 661-267-7636.
Oh,
I got the message. I'm going to report it tomorrow, and we'll keep you appraised. Yes.
I have a question. I've called Mr. Lackey's office for the last month, trying to get a hold of him so that he can help us, hopefully help us with this SB 1383. And I have yet to get a phone call back. All right. So if we're voting for him and somebody calls and says, hey, I need your help.
Yeah. All I can do is I could take it to their attention. I asked you to email me the same thing, and then I'll send it to everybody who makes decisions, all right? Including Assemblyman Lang.
Yeah,
Because what he has is, it's not just him, he has a legislative analyst.
Yeah.
He has a couple other people that help
Mia
with policy.
is
He's
in the
his
Palm
chief of
Bill
staff.
something. She was
She's
supposed
his-
to get back with me,
Yeah.
and it's been over a month.
All right.
And so, it's, his office and Sharon Rhodes' office that I'm now calling, so, come on, guys, we need some support down here.
All right, let me get the number of that bill. All right.
Okay,
And,
I have everything over here.
All right, and if you do, I got cards. If you have any questions like this that are kind of specific, please send me an email. It's the easiest way for me to direct the comments, all right? Because I am just a field representative. We have legislative analysts, we have a chief of staff, we have the assemblyman. They get together once a week and they discuss these policy issues.
But you're, oh, there it is.
Yeah, there I am.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anyway,
Thank you, Colin.
thank you.
Thank you, Carlo. Mr. Two.
Huh? Where's Francis? What?
I'm sorry.
The guy from West Management?
Yeah, he's here.
Hi everybody, I'm Karen Sanders. I am the District 2 representative for the Kern County Board of Supervisors. You probably are all aware that we have a new supervisor who was elected. We have to wait until the election is certified, which happens in early December. But then we will have a new supervisor on the Board of Supervisors for Kern County, especially for District 2. Everything has continued to move forward. I have some notes for you. There are specifically some things in Rosamond that have been brought forth to the county departments that can address these problems. One of the things is really crazy and simple, but there's some abandoned news racks on Eagle Way and on 35th, both at Rosamond Boulevard, and they're being looked into. We can't just rip them out. We have to make sure that they're not permitted somehow or another, but that's an issue. There's a sidewalk on Diamond Street that is being rehabilitated. Joel, all by himself, called and reported it, and the crews have gone in and removed that portion of the sidewalk that needs to be refinished, redone, hopefully in time for the Christmas festivities, which are taking place on December the 7th. There's been requests submitted for trees overhanging sidewalks, for sidewalks needing to be cleared of tumbleweeds, just general maintenance. There's a pedestrian path improvement on 20th Street from Sonia to Orange, and construction for that is set for 2025. We're almost there. It's, you know, close to December, so we're getting closer to 2025. And of course, we have a monthly update from Public Works, and they always send a great report. And I just wanted to tell you some of the things that happened with the Rapid Crew. And the Rapid Crew is the removing and preventing illegal dumping. It is a county-wide problem. It's not just in the desert. It is a county-wide problem. So this happens everywhere. But specifically in District 2, 270 dump sites were cleaned up in October. 270. On district roadways in 2024, there was 1,593 sites. 156 tons collected county-wide so far in 2024. No, I'm sorry, 156 tons in October. 1,265 tons for the whole year.
What's the number again? Big number?
1,265. So, and then I always like to bring this up. There is actually a mattress recycling program. And I was pretty much icked out by it because that just sounds gross. But I have learned since then that they actually take the mattresses apart and recycle the materials. So they're not actually recycling a mattress and saying, here's a new mattress for you. So it's much easier to hear when you know that they actually take the components apart, recycle those components, and then make something out of it, rather than just steam cleaning a mattress and saying, here you go.
You're actually supposed to turn mattresses in and get your deposit.
And
What?
You pay a deposit on your mattress, same as you do on cans.
right,
You're
which,
supposed to get it back when you return it.
right, but some people don't know about that.
Yeah.
And so some people lose sleep, they're just losing sleep, and they're just dumping their mattresses out in the desert. And that's where the majority of these mattresses that are recycled, literally recycled, not just refurbished, but recycled, that's where they come from. So I personally feel much, much better about it, because I would hate to think that there are some poor people out here who are buying
Your old mattress.
a steam clean mattress. Well,
the dump has them. You can take them to the dump.
Yeah, you can take them to the dump.
You can take them to the dump, and they put them in a separate section.
Right. And then I'm sure Frank, our friend from Waste Management, can address that when it's his turn to speak. So anyway, and then one other thing that I wanted to talk about was in District 2 for October, I know that homelessness is a problem. It's a problem all over the county. It's a problem for Rosemont, all of the communities. But in District 2, which that's a big area, there was one encampment cleaned up in October. 11 encampments cleaned up in District 2 for the year, and then countywide 640. So that's the county going in. If they're actually on county property, that's the county going in and abating it. Now, you know that there's homeless populations that are on private property, and they can't go onto private property and just boot them off. I mean, there are services that are available through Flood Ministries, and I'm sure the Sheriff's Department interacts with the homeless on a regular basis.
So who would we contact if there's a problem?
So actually, I have a card.
Thank you.
And I have cards for anyone that wants them. Here you go. Send me an email, give me a call, let me know if you have an issue or problem. I have contacts with, here you go. I have contacts with all of the county departments.
Cool.
And if I don't have the right department, excuse me, I'm gonna walk in front of you. If I don't have the right department, then they're very nice in making sure that I go to the right department. I have more in the car. Thank you, you're welcome. So in any case, you look like you have another question. That's okay.
So I live up off of United area, and I've noticed that they no longer keep the sidewalk areas clean. What happened with that? Do we know?
I don't know, but if you can let me know exactly what streets those are.
United.
Okay, well, do me a favor, like we're all going to help out Carlo, because I have a lot of information that comes to me every day. Shoot me an email and just give me a quick description of what the trouble is, and I will ask Code Compliance if they can look into it, or the Public Works Department. Again, I don't always hit the nail on the head when it comes to contacting the right departments, but we'll get to it so that that concern is addressed.
Thank you.
Sure.
When they do the cleanups of the homeless encampments, is it after they are already vacated? And if not, what happens to the homeless people at the encampment?
That's a really good question. They can't, and I'm sure our sheriff's deputy would be able to help with this too. They can't make people go get help. They can't make them.
I just want to know if they
I know.
have some sort of services.
Yeah.
For the ministries, like she said.
Right.
So we go there, we give them a week notice, then a 3-day, then a 24-hour. We keep going back. Us or code enforcement. Usually it's code enforcement if it's a homeless encampment. So they all know. They literally, like, code enforcement will know each one of the transients' names and say, like, look, Bob, you're gonna have to go. We're coming tomorrow. And so if they don't leave when the contractors, the guys who do the abatement, the cleanup, show up and they obstruct, they're trespassing now. They're interfering. We'll take them to jail, or we give them a warning. It's like, leave now, or we're gonna take you. That's it. But it's never like, surprise, we're here.
Oh, I'm just more worried about there's not a service to offer.
Yeah, no, Flood Ministries is there.
So one of the things we reached out to Flood, Karen and I reached out to Flood Ministries. So we're setting up a meeting with Flood Ministries and another organization in Mojave that wanted to help.
East Kern Family Resource Center, which is our CAP.
And I don't want this to sound cruel, but without getting them help, we're just playing whack-a-mole. We're just moving one problem to another area, and we're not solving the problem. So we reached out to Flood Ministries and the other organizations to see what service. They're coming out here weekly and hitting the homeless encampments and offering them services and stuff like that. And then they're looking at bringing up portable showers and stuff like that. So we're trying to bring the services. You're going to get the people who want help, and then you're going to get the ones who are homeless criminals. I mean, I'm going to be frank. And those are the ones that need to go to jail, and because all they're doing is robbing and stealing and burning things down. And but the ones that need help, we want to make sure that they're getting the help that they need.
Right. So in any case, if you have any issues, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, I have a few cards. I've got more in the truck. I can bring them in if I need to. Okay. See ya. I see ya. There you go. There you go. Thank you. You're free to email, call, send a passenger pigeon, carrier pigeon, whatever they have. Just let me know what issues you have, and I'll do my best to help you get those corrected.
Would you be okay with me posting these?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You don't need to put the Tehachapi address.
No. But
and the reason why I say that,
yes,
that's fine. There is a Tehachapi address on here, but that's an office space that we have in Tehachapi. That's basically by appointment because I work from home. It's just living in East Kern and being here on a daily basis is just easier for me to work from home. I've got a county laptop, a county telephone. My day starts just like everybody else's day starts, and it ends a lot of times a lot later than everybody else's, but it's all good. Okay.
Thank you,
Karen.
Chamber, Shana, you gonna flip a coin?
Flip a coin?
For the chamber. Any updates on the chamber? So before Shana comes up, I just wanted to let you know Jack Miller, who usually comes, passed away unexpectedly. A big loss to our community. I mean, when you said Roseman, you saw his picture. He really deeply cared about the community. He had his hand pretty much in everything that was going on, helped with all the parades. So we're kind of trying to play catch up now. Shana's new to the chamber. Welcome. Shana. I'm sorry.
Hey, Rigel. So Heather and I were voted into the chamber. She is the new trustee secretary, and I am one of the directors, along with Jean, who's the president. Jack did unfortunately pass last month, so we are going through the process of just getting things done at this point. We're working for the parade and with the sponsors, and my goal last year was to triple our budget for our double our budget for the presents, and I have. So last year we gave presents out to over 800 kids, and we'll be able to help out more kids this year. There is a registry for it though this year, and it's only for Roseman residents. That way we're not getting a ton of people from Palmdale and Lancaster like we did last year. When they register for the presents, they will be able to register for food bags as well. Heather is making tons of food bags like we did last year as well. Maggie's thrift store is going to be giving out clothes again this year as well. So it's all free. It starts at 10 o'clock and it ends at 8 o'clock at night. So it's an all-day event. There's letters to Santa, there's kids crafts, all kinds of stuff. The chamber does have a new email. The old email we weren't able to get into because it was connected with the website, and unfortunately when Jack went, he took that information with him. So we did have to start a new email, and we also had to start a new Facebook as well. The Facebook is up and running, and the email is up and running too. That's all I got.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Last year, if you guys didn't get a chance, the Christmas parade was phenomenal. I think, like Trying to sink it. We ran out of presents within the first hour and a half. I mean, that's what a big response we had. I mean, it was a fun day. The vendors came; they all ran out of food. So I think they're going to be doubling their food this year.
Oh yeah. What time is the parade?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
On what day?
December
Do
7th.
you want to you want to help me announce it? This parade.
All right, Alfred or you guys have a Rick? Anybody? Any updates from RCSD?
Good evening, everyone. Rick Webb, Director, Roseland Community Services District. Two things he brought up: the tagging. The district has a site. I mean, if you go to the district website, let them know about it, and they'll go out and clean that tagging up. That's important. Get it down as quick as we can. That doesn't kind of make these guys think whoever they are. But the thing I want to ask everybody in here, as a personal favor to me, to support the CHP law enforcement in the county office. If we complain about each other, only us knows about it. If you call the people that can do something about it, it helps them. And being retired, sir, from law enforcement, I'm going to give you some fuel to support him. 4 p.m. pull-ups on somebody they're messing with. They said we got a call for service. He's doing his job. They're doing their job. Deuces kill people, folks. Deuces killed a good friend of mine that was a police officer just before I retired. So, folks, get on them. Deuces have no place in our life because they wreck lives. And I want our community. I've been here, and I'm a new guy. I've been here 30-plus years. Every year, Roseland's going down a little bit. It's not Bonehead's fault. It's our fault. Because if we tolerate the bullshit, we're going to have to eat the bullshit. And that's just my personal side of it. So when you see it, like she said, see something, say something, then say it again. Say it one more time. Don't just tell your neighbor. Tell the people that can help us. That's my take on that there. But anyway, sorry for that little, but I'm getting tired of all the stuff. I see the seniors out here worried about these guys and clutching their purses. And the store the other day, we could go in one door, out the other door. They probably fix that, grease fire. Anyway, the only thing I have from the district, we're in good shape. We're coming up under budget on some of the projects, which is good because we can load it over to other projects. We had an audit. What was it, Alfred? Came back unmodified?
Yes.
The highest thing you can get on an audit, which means that we're spending the monies the right way. The wastewater treatment plant out there, which is world class. Again, if anyone ever wants to go out there, get in touch with us. I'd love to show people it because we've been recognized throughout the country for our treatment plant, your treatment plant.
They saved money several places too.
Yes. So we're doing well. Like I said, thank you folks very much. But I said, folks, we're the baller, not the boneheads, us here. Thanks, sir.
All right. Concludes our speakers, and everybody came here to our guest speaker, Frank. Frank, I thank you very much for taking the time tonight and taking time away from family to come and let us know what could or could not happen. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Frank with WM. And excuse, my daughter did have dance, and so she wears her shorts, and I offered her my jacket, but you know how kids are. So I just want to get that out of the way. All right, so Joel called me, and he asked me to come down because there seems to be some confusion in the conversations that he has with local residents about what happens if this new proposal from the county is successfully protested. And I think that part of the confusion comes from the way that we word it when we're talking amongst each other. Is sometimes I've heard people say like, oh, if that gets approved, and I've noticed that they're actually talking about if it gets a successful protest. And so there's a lot of back and forth. So first of all, back in December of 2023, Kern County had their first proposal, right? And that was 3 containers serviced one time every week. That allowed a Prop 218, and Roseman was not successful in protesting that, right? So, no, oh well, yeah. So according to the county, Roseman was not successful in protesting in terms of the number of protests that you guys turned in did not work, right? So it's true. It's correct.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree. So
I mean, it's not me. It's the county saying that it's not there.
They didn't count all the signatures.
Yeah. Well, either way, that's what the county. I'm just telling you what we're at.
Guys, that we're not here to take our anger out.
Yeah. Or amongst each other, because it's really just what's the fact and on paper, and I'm sharing it with you. So it was unsuccessful, according to the county, and they still came back and gave a new proposal, even though you didn't have a successful protest. So it's like they're giving you a second chance, which is odd.
Well, that's nobody actually made a motion to put it forward.
Okay.
That's what happened.
So you get a second chance, right? You guys get to go ahead and protest it once again. And I've heard good things. Someone is at the grocery store all the time getting signatures. I hear it all the time. And I've even mentioned it. There's a new trailer park that I'm in, not new trailer park, but Trailer Haven here. I'm in communication with her. And I was telling her, because her residents are signing up for residential service. And commercial, they have to have 3 containers already. But certain pockets in Roseman, like the new Universal Collection area, they don't yet. And so when we were talking to her about getting her residents with individual service, I was like, hey, just so you know, down the line, sometime in July of 2026, there's a possibility that these residents that were only setting up trash, they may have to get 3 containers serviced every other week, and it's going to be on property tax. And I just wanted to be, honest with her and tell her what's going on before you switch over. This is what may happen. And she said, well, what do we do about that? I said, you need to protest it. She's going to talk to her tenants at Trailer Haven and send them all to the grocery store as well to sign the protest. So I just want to mention that WM, we're listening in just like the residents here in Roseman. We want to know what's going to happen as well. So we want to hear, is Roseman going to pass? Are they not? What are you going to do if they don't, right? So if the protest is successful, or let's start with if it's not successful. So if the protest is not successful, the bill will go on your property taxes. You'll receive the 3 containers, trash, organics, and recycling, and they'll be serviced every other week. Okay, so 1 week on, the next week off. 1 week on, the next week off. That's the county's proposal. If the protest is successful, you get enough signatures. I think it was like 2,000. Yeah. So in the last one, apparently it was 2,100, so it's 25 now that you guys need?
2250. Yeah, we figured 25 sales.
Yes, okay, so if we do get the correct amount of signatures for the protest, nothing changes. You go on as usual. You continue having your trash can. You continue paying WM directly for your services. The only difference is that it doesn't exclude you from being subject to the state law, SB 1383. So that means that you still can't put your organic waste in the trash can. You still can't put your recyclables in the trash can. If the protest is successful, the county is suggesting that the residents will have to take that material and self-haul it to the landfill, because that's not allowed in the trash in the landfill any longer. So those are the 2 options. Successful protest, you only have your trash just like you do now. Some of you that are part of the old Universal Collection area, you already have the 3 containers. For those of you that don't know, there's 3 areas in Roseman for residents. It's really odd. So you have the Universal Collection area, which is little pockets all over Roseman. I have a little map. It's the same map that you all have already seen, I'm sure, right? So the old UCA, or the old Universal Collection area, is all these little tiny yellow pockets everywhere. They're just like random little areas. And they have 3 container service every single week, and it's billed through their taxes, through property taxes already. This pink area, or whatever color you want to call that, I'm not sure, that's the new coral. This is the new Universal Collection area that the county is proposing, which would go on tax roll and be collected every other week. On top of that, there's all these other areas around. Am I upside down? There's all these other areas in Roseman, right? That's the 3rd area that has no requirements whatsoever. They can self-haul everything. They can sign up for service with WM if they want. So it gets really, really confusing when you're looking at the proposals in the different areas, and do you fall under that or do you not? Was it successful or not? It does get confusing. But I do want to assure you guys that we're right there with you. We want to know what's going to happen as well. We're not swaying the county a certain direction at all. We're just riding along with you as well.
Can you share just as an example, because you said if it's not successful,
if the protest is not
successful, what are some examples of things that you will no longer be able to put in the trash?
Sure, so recyclables, so your plastic and glass containers, your cans, your paper, and your cardboard. So all that is recyclable material, is not allowed in the landfill. And then for organics is yard waste, so your grass, leaves, weeds, bush trimmings, tree trimmings. Then your food waste, so that's like your leftovers in the fridge that you say you're gonna eat but you never do. Food scraps, when you're cleaning meat, when you're chopping vegetables and you have that end of the celery, that no one eats and stuff like that would go in, it needs to be separated. And food soiled paper, so napkins, paper towels, pizza boxes. That's what's expected.
What is left for the regular trash then?
Like broken items, hoses, ceramic dishes. That
would be the least of the lowest.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
this is like you're doing that on purpose to force people to pay for the service.
Well, yeah, good point. Good point. However, we're not forcing anything. The state is.
It's the state. If I can interrupt this, the county, basically, SB 1383 was a Democrat proposal from the state. They're forcing an unfunded mandate on the county, and the county's trying to comply, and this is one way that they're bringing together to comply. So this isn't the county all of a sudden saying, hey, we got to separate our, this is being forced upon the state, and I hate to do this to Carlo, is you need to, his fault.
And to further mention too, you say that what's left. That is exactly what the state is trying to do. The state is trying to, whatever's in that trash bin, they're trying to get it as low as possible to where we're zero waste state, and so yeah, you're kind of saying exactly what the state is saying, is that they don't want anything in the landfill. Yeah. So Miss.
When you were saying what can go where, what can go here and there and there, what about feces, animal feces?
Trash.
So that just basically goes into the trash.
Correct. Yeah. Manure, cow, horse is organic, so that would be self-haul.
Yeah, but animal, but like pet.
Cat and dog is trash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
How is that going to be policed? If it's protest is successful, who's policing what's in the trash can?
WM would police what's in our containers. So, and it would just be like the cameras inside the hopper. The cart gets dumped into the container. It's just whatever falls out. We're not opening up any bags. Whatever you guys put in the bags, it's just whatever falls in the truck. So, if you have like a load of grass in there, the truck will notice that.
A load of grass in a bag.
We wouldn't know. If you, sorry, yes.
And so then, what are the penalties going to be?
That's not visible to us at this point. Even the proposal that the county provided to everybody, the 500, that hasn't even gone through negotiations with WM yet. That was a verbal proposal that my boss provided to them. And so there's no real rates for anything yet. I will say that there is no plans to do any type of contamination fees at this point at all. No discussions, no thoughts about it. It would all just be education. Sorry. So it'd be a letter if your communication preferences are physical mail, or it'd be an email if your communications are email.
But we'll still have the option to segregate it ourselves and take it to the landfill that we already paid for that service. So
yes.
They're going to have places where to place.
They already do, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So at the landfill, do they then charge fees for our organics?
No.
So that's still part of the
land use fee.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
In reading some of the documentation from county and from Public Works, there was an ordinance that just went into effect where our rates for waste management were increased and where we're paying waste management more on our tri-monthly because the county agreed to waste management's request to increase the rates. In looking at the contract in between waste management and the Department of Public Works, there is something that is an administration fee that, and my question is, with this administration fee and with looking at the financial report with the county, that the county is receiving a lot of money from waste management in regards to appropriations, and it could be coming from waste management. It could also be the state programs that are coming. But when in the contract in between waste management and the Department of Public Works, what is, can you explain to us, what is that administration fee?
It was like $1 or something like that per.
I don't know what it is, but is that something that waste management is paying to the county, and is waste management paying Kern County and the Department of Public Works to service our areas?
So there is an administration fee. I have seen that, and it is collected by, it's a pass-through fee. So it's collected by WM and given straight to the county. Commercial accounts also have that, and it's a lot more. They have the administrative fee, and then they have the bin fee, because commercial businesses do not pay the land use fee on their property tax like a resident does. What they do with that money, or what it's for, I'm not really sure. I could find out for you and let Joel know.
Is that the county receiving that money?
Yes.
Or is that waste management?
No, we collect it, and it goes straight to the county.
So you're paying the county?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There was something I was going to mention about that. I have heard Lisa mention that, because that's something that was brought. I've been to all of the meetings. I went to Tehachapi, I went to Boron, I went to Mojave. I've gone to all of the meetings last year. I missed Mojave this year, but the rest I've been to, and the same questions kind of come up all the time. So I do remember Lisa mentioning something about managing the funds and the accounts and the parcels and waivers, and there's a lot of administration that goes into it, especially now with the state's mandates. There's a lot of requirements on, like you have to have a what do they call it? Implementation plan. It's this ginormous document that has to have files that go, like when the state comes and wants to inspect your implementation record, they want to be able to look at this document, click the button if they want to see that file, and it takes them directly to your computer to where you have that file saved and where they can go through those documents. It's insane.
And that's your site, not the county site?
No, that's the county.
Okay.
The county has to do that. And so I believe that all those different things that the county is required to do with SB 1383, that's part of that fee. But it's not something that WM keeps.
Because I know that the state also requires your information as well.
Yeah.
So you've got to maintain those records as well. And
correct.
So is that kind of like doing double?
That goes back to this gentleman here is with the contamination monitoring. It's not something that WM necessarily said, oh, I can't wait to do this. It's more of a requirement from the state. The haulers, not the haulers, the jurisdiction is actually required to inspect the waste and do the contamination reviews and the route reviews. However, WM, because we do have our smart trucks, we offer that as a service instead of having county reps go out and they do it. There are other areas where they go out and they flip lids. Burtec in Santa Clarita, they have a bunch of Jeeps that have the driver on the other side, and they go in the carts and they open up bags. They have these sticks and everything because they don't have the camera technology. So that is a service that we offer, and our jurisdictions love it because they don't have to go and do it.
Yeah, because Lisa, when we were at the meeting the last time, Lisa was making a statement that they can not provide this service to us at all. But I think that's what, Mary, is that what you heard?
I've heard that from quite a few people.
Is that was it? What was the exact statement?
That if Waste Management doesn't get Roseman that they are going to pull all services from Roseman.
Yeah, that sounds like he said, she said.
Yeah, because in looking at the contract in between Waste Management and Rosemont, it says that the contract is valid until 2046.
Yeah, no, that's just hearsay. One person told one person one thing, and it got a little distorted, and it moved on and on.
Yeah, so I'm that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no.
Is that something that is possibly feasible?
If what's feasible now, I missed that part.
Whether the Department of Public Works can decide, oh, we're not, we're going to pull this because we're not getting our way.
No.
Okay.
No.
Frank, is there a local office where we can go if we have a problem with a bill?
Yeah.
Where?
Right on Sierra Highway,
Yeah,
1731, I think. Yeah, it's right down the street.
Yeah.
And Barbara is there, and a lot of people do come in every single day, and she deals with them every day.
I'm confused. Do we get the 3 barrels so we can put our certain things in?
It's confusing. Yeah. Are you part of the new?
We don't know.
Okay.
I just know.
We live right up the street.
Yeah, we live here.
Then you're probably in the new area. Do you only have trash right now?
Yes.
And are you mandated to have service right now? You have to have it. Okay.
Yes.
So you're part of the new area then.
We're
Okay.
in mobile home park,
Okay.
and they said that it's gonna.
Do you have individual accounts, or do you have?
It comes on our bill.
You pay it.
Well, it comes to the park, and then the park bills us.
Is it Trailer Haven?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
Tradeways.
Oh, Tradewinds. Yeah, I talked to them today too. Yeah. Tradewinds.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
So-
Yeah.
Just right
So
up the street.
Michelle. I talked to Michelle.
We don't want our anything to go up. Nothing. I mean, everything is going up so much that it's killing us. It's literally killing us. Seniors. I
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, I was just telling her about this too. That's one of them that I was talking about. Nothing changes for you until 2026 if the protest is unsuccessful. Okay, so if you do not protest correctly, if the city or the community doesn't protest it, it won't happen until July of 2026. It will go on your tax roll. Now, I don't know if that means that the mobile home park itself will get it on tax roll and then they'll start billing you. I think that's how it would work. Because do the tenants own the spaces?
Yes.
You do?
No, we don't own the space. We rent the space, but we own our own mobile.
Yes, so then the mobile home park would have each of those on their property tax, and they would bill you. It'd be you paying the mobile home park, the mobile home park paying the county paying WM.
Basically, what would happen most likely is your space rent would go.
And that's not really something I heard. I think the last meeting that we were here at, and I didn't say anything at the moment because there's a lot of questions, but that is not something that WM wants either. Is tax roll, not at all.
So we want to get the signatures? Is that
Yes.
we do. We do it. We'll do that. I will help.
Yeah, they're
The problem with the trailer parks, like Tradewind and all the rest of them, there might be 50 trailers in those parks, but they only get 1 vote.
Right.
Oh, really?
Because it's only one
Because it's
parcel.
only one parcel.
Oh,
So
wow.
I have a piece of property that has 5 units on it, I get 1 vote.
Oh.
Really?
Because it's one parcel.
It's
not right.
If I can add that the California Constitution, Article 13 CD states that renters have a voice in regards to the adding of assessments, fees, or taxes to a property tax
They
bill.
say that, but Kern County.
Yeah, let's keep it to what Frank can attest to. We can discuss that at
So, I don't have trash service. I go to the dumps, but I'm still going to be affected, right?
You're outside of both areas?
No, she's inside.
No, I'm inside the area,
Uh-huh.
but I have no trash service. I have no account with Waste Management, but I'm still going to be affected, right?
If the protest is unsuccessful, yes.
Okay.
You technically are supposed to have service if you're in these pockets. If you're not part of the outskirts of Roseman, that literally the county doesn't care what they do. They can have a bin, they cannot have a bin. They don't have to have all 3. Then you should technically have service.
What are the street codes?
So that means that I have to have a service I don't want. I have to pay for it.
Correct. Yeah. Just I mean, you have it better than the others, you know. So the UCA and the yellow there, they have to have all three, and it's on property tax. So yeah.
Okay,
Can you say what the perimeter of that?
That's what I was wondering.
We were trying to figure it out. There's no street name. There's no street name.
Yeah, the map is terrible, and I tried, but up here, this corner right here is all those houses up there on the hill.
So that's United, I'm assuming, because all these would probably be, I'm assuming this is United. Is this the school? Is this Tropica?
I'm working on trying to get a big map with the street names on it. It's just a map
that'd
with
be nice.
parcel numbers on it. So
I've
once I get
tried.
that, I'll post that and make that available to everybody.
Okay, so another question is, if the protest is successful, okay, why not put for our veterans, our seniors, people who can't get to the dump, why not put bins in front of the yard down here at Waste Management, the grocery stores, the gas stations?
That is something I brought up to my boss. So if it's unsuccessful and the negotiations begin with the county and WM, that is something that we will bring up for sure.
Okay, and where is our green waste going?
Right now, well, for people that are in the yellow UCAs, it goes to the county.
So
Mojave.
it's going to Mojave, but they don't have a recycling there.
They may have a transfer pad, but that's where it goes. It goes to Mojave.
You know, actually, they're starting to burn it. Yes.
Okay.
They got this newfangled incinerator type thing. Because I go to the dump a lot.
Yeah.
And I go by there and you can smell something when you come in, you know, and I go by there and their flames are coming out. But I asked him and I said, isn't that illegal to burn? It's a
I don't know.
experiment.
I don't work for that. I
And
don't know
then
what
what are
actually doing that. You're burning.
our numbers for gases?
I don't know. That'd be a landfill thing.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 50th, just before Tropico Road, and going that way.
This is 50th?
It's just past United. So this is 50th because this is Tropico Road.
Okay.
So this is 50th Street, and United is right here. So it goes further than United. So
What's that? Yeah, whatever.
The mountain
right now.
on the left over here.
It covers pretty much everything.
So it follows the. China.
So you said that the negotiations haven't been set, so the 5 whatever, it could be less than that, or it could be more than that, so you guys voted?
Correct. There is nothing in writing on that at all.
So that number is just...
That was hey, you know, we're thinking of going back and providing a new proposal. What do you think it would cost to do every other week service?
And this is Avenue A.
There's a really big process to negotiations
And
that has to be completed still.
So
It could be the same, it could be more, it could be less. All I'm saying is that was never a formal negotiation.
So Kern County comes to Waste Management and does the negotiations with
This one,
trash
it
thing with
cut it
them?
off, that's why.
Correct.
So, I think actually Waste Management in Kern County needs to sit down again and do some talking, because I don't believe everybody here is against recycling, but we're against it putting on our tax.
Yeah.
So like Palmdale, I mean, they pay $35 a month, they get 3 cans.
They pay 40.22, but
Okay, they get 3 cans, it doesn't go on their property tax.
I live in Lancaster. Mine's on my property tax.
You're in Lancaster,
I'm a
you're not
customer too.
Palmdale, but Palmdale
Yeah. No, I know, and they've also tried and asked. The city of Palmdale has actually asked too to put it on property tax, and we were thankful that they did it. No one wants to wait 6 months to a year to be paid, right?
Because if it's on your property tax, then you can't say, I don't want this service.
Exactly, you have no option.
All right, Deborah, one more question for you.
I just wanted to ask about the location that's there on Cedar Highway. When it comes to like batteries, you know, the little alkaline batteries and things that can't go into our waste now. Do you have a facility or is there something set up where we can take our old used AA batteries, DDC batteries, and for you to dispose of properly, rather than it actually going into the trash by people just tossing them in there? Or do you have something there at that site where we can collect and transport our old batteries?
Yeah, good question. No, we don't.
Okay.
So the county provides those services, and yes.
Last time I went to the dump, we took our bag of AA, AAA, all those batteries, and we said, where do we put these? And the guy in the window took them from us.
That's good. She's asking about my facility on Sierra Highway,
Okay.
not the dump.
Yeah, but this is at the dump, so
Yeah.
there is a place to
Yes,
do that.
yeah. So at my facility, no, there isn't a roll-off where you can come and bring batteries and such, but the county does provide those services.
Every other month on a
First and
Saturday,
second.
every other month, up on Finnan Street in the old airport. You can take all your light bulbs, batteries. It's like from what, 9 to 12 or something like that?
Yeah, it's all on their website too.
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe something set up in town, because a lot of us can't or don't have transportation. A lot of us can't get to the Mojave dump and wait, and if traffic or if weather is really bad, you can't get up those hills in order to take care of that. And I know that the air station, I was kind of like, I'm just wondering as to whether or not something in town rather than 12, 13 miles away from us, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just tossing a
I get
seed
it.
out there.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was mentioning, it having like an organics / recycling transfer pad at our yard has been something that I've mentioned. We do have to remember, and this is just how business is that the more amenities that we do add, there's an added cost to those amenities too. So what is our concern? Is the concern the rate? Is the concern being on taxes? And then tackle that whatever it is, because the more services that we can't take the hazardous waste. There's nothing for us to do with it. So we're gonna have to pay somebody to handle that material. Who's gonna pay us to pay them to pay? So it's all things that we have to keep in mind. And so when we negotiate with the county, we are gonna say, hey, we would really like to have another roll-off just always there. There are different areas that have that. Ridgecrest, for example, the way that they're set up is their trash and their recycling is every other week, and their organics is weekly. And so what they do, because diapers, for example, are not organic waste, it's trash, right? We have a container there, we call it the stinky bin. And residents can come and bring diapers and stinky stuff and dump it into that trash bin for free. So those are like some of the things that we think of that we try and work into it, and that is something that we'll definitely discuss when the time comes.
Awesome, thank you.
One of the things real quick, waste management's been awesome. We, at RMAC, since we got on the board, we're building relationships with the county. Hypodermic needles. What got me is I have a diabetic dog where I got to give her shots twice a day, and I have coffee cans full of needles. So we didn't have any place to dispose of them. So we reached out to waste management in the county. Over at the library, at the fire station, we have a hypodermic needle disposal. Just put them in a solid container, and you can dispose of your diabetic needles over there. I'm working on, Karen and I are working on a hazmat dump, getting at least quarterly or at least twice a year up here in Roseman, so we don't have to drive to Mojave. So that's in the work. So we are working on that. Hopefully, we might see that shortly. We're making strides. So it's about building those relationships. We've
also built our own relationship with Cesar Chavez Environmental Corps now, who is coming out to all of our events. We host our quarterly events at our yard here for you guys.
November 30th.
Yeah, the next one is next Saturday, November 30th, and Cesar Chavez Environmental Corps through Field. They are coming down and they'll be collecting tires with rims too. I have a friend who lives here who brought 25 tires and rims, different rides over and such. But they'll collect the other things that we can't collect. So it's nice to have that relationship where, and they're excited to come too, because the last time you guys filled up that roll-off full of tires and rims.
And I believe we do waste, electronic waste this November 30th. You have any old TVs or anything like that, they'll take them at the bulky waste. And what's very frustrating is the county and waste manager put these bulky days, and it wasn't 2 days after they had the bulky waste, we had a whole bunch of illegal dumping here in town, right here in the middle of town. And it's just frustrating. So it's a good service that you guys provide. Thank you for coming out tonight, Frank.
Thanks for having
me. Real quick, what's going on? These are all proposals that the county, Public Works is proposing. Nothing's final until that gavel hits by the Board of Supervisors and they take a vote. So once they start discussing that, if we can get a group of people to go up and speak in front of the board up there, we can carpool. It's important. Like I said, nothing's going to be final until that gavel hits and they vote on it. So, I mean, they could go into the meeting with a proposal, and I've seen by the end of the meeting, the whole proposal's been upended and changed 10 different ways. So, it's very important for us to stay on, and we'll put information out when they're going to be holding their meetings on the prop, and we'll be having meetings with the new supervisor. And Karen pretty much knows how everybody feels here in Roseman, so. She'll be getting the word out. So I thank you guys for coming out tonight.
I want to add something too. I want to put this out there again. Like, all of us are building relationships with the community. The reason I got on RMAC was to help support in this capacity, as well as my job for the school district, which is completely community oriented. So on the back end, I'm working on medical and dental and things like that, bringing more services into town. For those of you that are not aware too, it's going to go out soon to the public, but Kern Family Health, is it Kern Family Health? One of the Medi-Cal programs, they have a representative for this part of East Kern who is going to be at the Parent and Community Center at the school district basically every other Monday starting December 2nd. There's going to be a flyer with all of the dates. He's going to be there from 2 to 4 to tell you about all the services. So if you have Kern Family Health Care, they have services that I didn't even know existed. For example, if you don't have transportation to your medical appointments because we don't have a doctor in town, they will transport you. There's a lot that they have to offer. So all of these things are going on, and I'm just asking, give us a little grace. This is not a paid position. We are volunteering our time to do this, and I know, like, we try really hard to bring things in, and then unfortunately on the wonderful social medias, we'll get attacked for things, but we're taking our time to support you guys. So, and it's not that we're asking for praise for that, by all means, no, because this is what we want to do, we care, but just give us a little grace because we all have jobs, we all have families, we all have other things going on, but we take our time to be here.
All right. Thank you guys.
Can I just say one thing? One thing that really irritates me about waste management is if they make us pay their bill on our tax bills, we are also paying millions of dollars a year to fund a golf tournament in Phoenix. That shouldn't be on our taxes. That should be something that's elected. You know, we should be able to choose to do that, not be taxed to put on a golf meeting.
So like I said, one of the things real quick on that is there is an increase yearly. If it goes on your property taxes, there's an automatic increase. So it's up to you. I'm here to support the community. Everybody has to make up their own mind whether, I know there's people who have a hard time, you know, that when you get that end of the year $3,500 tax bill at the end of the year, it's sometimes hard to come up with that money if it's not in your mortgage, or your mortgage is paid off. So a lot of people like having the minimum monthly payments. So
yeah, I just want to say in support of RMAC is that yes, it falls on us, the community. You guys step up to the plate and bring this up to us, but without a vast community support, none of this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So just kind of like the small people here, we need to